I was skeptical, but this trend is a total vibe. Let's style the runway the short way on my 5'2" stature. An undeniable trend from the spring-summer 2024 catwalks is pairing suiting with a bra. We saw this at shows like Chanel, Nina Ricci, and Paul Costello. Suiting for petites has always been a challenging category, so let's see if we can make this work. I'm also curious to see if we can create a version of this outfit that doesn't require midriff. Make sure you stick around until the very end for some style tips and shopping recs. I think it's safe to assume that not many of us owns a suit, so for this first look, I want to pair two separate tailoring pieces that are different in fabric and might differ in color just a bit to get the same vibe and look that we've seen in the runway. For our first look, I'm pairing this petite size vintage Liz Claiborne blazer with a sheer balconette bra and a pair of high-rise front-pleated wide trousers. Yes, the pants are too long, but first, I just want to say that although the blazer is a little bit lighter in color than the pants, I think it works. So now as for the pants, these are actually petite sized. They're just designed to be worn with heels. So let's put some on. Going with a pair of timeless black stilettos, a chunky gold chain, and hoops to match, as well as this black handbag with a gold chain strap. It's pretty clear that I like gold chains. Finishing up the look with these black cat-eye sunglasses. For our second look, I actually dug out of storage this vintage skirt suit with a beautiful contrasting black collar, which I'm pairing with a black minimizer bra. I actually scored this vintage petite suit many moons ago. It perfectly illustrates the importance of petite sizing in tailoring. There's something about a garment when it's constructed for someone with shortened proportions like myself that makes it fit like an absolute glove. I did get the length of the skirt shortened, but that's because I prefer shorter hems. And even with that, I hardly ever wore this because I felt like it just like seemed a bit too stuffy. So the bra is actually a super nice touch with it. So that's just finishing out styling it in like a school uniform sort of way. This combo of socks with pointed toe flats was a no-brainer. For jewelry, I'm going with my signature necklace stack. This vintage patent leather belt, chain crossbody bag, and cat-eye shades are the perfect finishing touches. I loved this fit, but I want to style out a version that's more modest, and I selfishly just want to figure out more ways to wear this suit. For the third look, we are working with the same vintage skirt suit and this translucent slip. My goal is to cover up some, but not lose that aspect of innerwear. So think lace corsets, lingerie bodysuits, like a teddy, or even like a slip. Unfortunately, I have none of that would go with the skirt. So my next best option is this piece that I'm wearing that's translucent. That's actually a lining of a dress. And I like how this top part is looking, but I don't like this draping that's happening. And when I pull it down, I don't hate it. But also, I don't want to hide the skirt, so I'm gonna try tucking it in. Look at nothing else but just the hem. I think it's killer. I love the layered effect. Now, as to what's happening in the waistline with this kind of getting gathered, it's not the vibe we're going for. But I am gonna be wearing a blazer, so I'm gonna stick with it. Let's accessorize. Going with the same black stilettos from our first look, I'm pulling out this oversized heart necklace, swapping out belts for this felt one. As for a handbag, I'm opting for this faux patent leather number, and to top it all off, putting on the same black sunnies. What if you don't have a suit or the same color suiting pieces? I have an idea, and I think it may be the perfect solution. For our last look, we're experimenting with this thrifted vest, a comfy sports bra, and a pleated skirt. Technically not a suit, and only the vest could be considered a suiting piece. Yet the components of the trend are still very much present. We have the sports bra, and we have some crisp tailoring pieces that are the same color. I think those two things are key. Think very crisp tailored garments that are the same color. So if you have those, I think you could pull this off. And I'm gonna button this up and accessorize it and show you how it all comes together. Styling this fit with these Western-inspired tall boots, a ceramic flower pendant necklace, gold hoops, and the same black handbag from earlier. Finishing it up with my go-to shades. When you're shopping online for petite suiting, you will find some very affordable options, but let me just tell you, they won't look good and they won't have much longevity. What will look good and have a long lifespan will be quite an investment. Tailoring is very laborious and it requires a lot of attention to detail. I have two recs here. One, don't shop oversized. Shop to your size that it's fitted so that it's a classic fit and you will have it in your wardrobe for a long time, regardless of what's in and what's out. Two, shop vintage. Here's a list of key terms to look for when you're shopping online. I will say that I spent a lot of time looking through the new and vintage options for our shorties, and I curated a list. So I'd be happy to send it to you. All you have to do is click the link in the description, sign up to my newsletter, Petite Fashion Weekly, and I will send it to you. There is no doubt that shorties can pull off this look. As proof, let me show you these outfits by fellow shorties featuring the trend. It's hard for me to say which one's my favorite because they're all so good. Annie's is the perfect summer version, while I feel like Pam's will never go out of style. I also really appreciate the pairing in Lynn's look, but if I had to choose, I would go with Angela's outfit. Which one's your favorite? These are 8 tips to keep in mind when you're trying out this trend. Number 1, petite sizing is key. 2, you don't need a suit. You can pair together suiting pieces that are in the same family of color. Number 3, if you don't have any suiting pieces, look in your wardrobe for tailored pieces that are structured and have that crisp to it. Instead of a bra, you could consider any other bust-covering garment, such as a bikini, a bandeau, a sports bra, or even a crop top. For additional coverage, opt for a lacy corset or bodysuit, a translucent top, a slip, and if you're working with a skirt suit, don't be afraid to tuck it into your skirt and let the hem show. And last but not least, let me introduce you to underarm sweat pads. As you know, you can't put suiting pieces through the washer, And as embarrassing as it is to admit, I have a couple of very faintly stinky pieces in my wardrobe. So learn from my mistakes. And don't forget, keep it short.